My child, listen closely, because what I am about to reveal is happening right now, not yesterday, not years ago, and not in some distant legend. This is unfolding in real time, somewhere in the unseen shadows of this world, and it is tied directly to your son's destiny. You may be sitting in peace, unaware of the storm that erupted in the spirit realm, but I must lift the veil and show you the truth. A trap was set for your son, a trap designed with precision, hatred, and cold intention. But something happened just 3 hours ago that has shaken the darkness to its core. A woman, someone who smiled on the outside but carried secret bitterness inside, has found her life unraveling in a way no doctor can explain. 3 hours ago, her breath began to weaken as if the air itself refused to enter her lungs. Her skin, once warm, turned icy, and her heart started stumbling in its rhythm, beating fast, then slowing down, searching for a melody it could no longer find. She is lying there right now, terrified, speechless, and confused, because the very thing she prepared for your son has turned back on her with a force she never imagined. Yes, my child. She was struck. Not by a weapon, not by a person, but by the very spiritual poison she prepared for your son. This is not just about a substance or a trap. This is about what she carried in her heart, the intentions she hid behind her smile, and the darkness she fed when she thought no one was watching. And now everything she whispered, everything she plotted, everything she released against your son is rising up and exposing itself in broad daylight. But before we go deeper, I need you to stay with me. If you are ready to hear the truth about how your son was divinely protected from a danger he never even saw coming, comment below, "I am listening," or "I receive the truth." Your agreement helps this message reach others who may also be walking near hidden enemies without knowing it. Now let me take you back just a short time ago. If you had seen this woman earlier, you would have seen someone full of confidence, her eyes sharp with deception, and her heart beating with a plan she truly believed would destroy your son. She wasn't always like this. She wasn't born with darkness. But over time, she allowed envy, bitterness, and resentment to grow inside her. Every time she saw your son succeed, smile, or rise, something inside her twisted. She compared her life to his, and instead of learning, she grew jealous. That jealousy became anger. That anger became obsession. And that obsession led her into a spiritual pit she was not prepared to face. Days ago, she traveled to a place far from the busy world, where the ground felt ancient and heavy, and the air carried the smell of forgotten secrets. She went to meet a mysterious woman, an old figure known only in whispers, someone who lived alone in a house that seemed alive with shadows. This was not a place of healing. It was a place where people brought their bitterness, and paid a high price for it. She sat across from that old woman, whose hair looked like tangled roots and whose eyes seemed to cut through lies with a single glance. The old woman didn't ask for names or greetings. She simply leaned forward and murmured, "Who do you want to harm, and why?" And without a flinch, without hesitation, this woman spoke your son's name. She spoke it like a curse, heavy with envy and dripping with rage. She talked about your son as if his success had wounded her, as if his happiness was an insult to her misery. She believed he was standing in the way of her own life, and she wanted him gone, not hurt temporarily, not inconvenienced, but gone forever. For your daughter, support by giving a super thanks up to $100, as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. The old woman listened without expression, then slid a small bottle across the table. It was dark, glowing faintly, as if it held a captured star. Along with it came a fragile piece of paper, folded neatly. That paper carried ancient instructions, truths she needed to respect, but she didn't even bother reading it. She grabbed the bottle, ignored the paper, and walked out feeling powerful, confident, and unstoppable. That was her first fatal mistake. That paper held the warning that could have saved her life. This is not a poison of flesh. It follows the heart that releases it. If your heart carries envy or hate, it will return to you. But she didn't want warnings. She wanted victory, no matter the cost. She returned home, clutching the bottle like it was the key to her new life. She prepared everything carefully. She pictured your son walking in, trusting, unaware of the danger. She imagined his fall, his collapse, his end. Exactly 3 hours ago, she added 3 drops of that shimmering liquid into something she meant specifically for your son. She watched it dissolve and felt sure she had sealed his fate. But when your son came near, something shifted, not in him, but in her. Your son didn't drink. He didn't even touch the cup. The spiritual covering over his life blocked every bit of darkness from reaching him. And in that moment, the reversal began. Her hands started shaking. Her breath caught in her throat. Her heart stumbled violently. Her body grew cold all at once. Confusion hit her. Fear swallowed her. And then horror took over. She looked at your son, expecting him to fall. But he stood strong, calm, untouched. Protected by a power she never understood. Everything she sent out against him turned back on her instantly. It wasn't just attacking her body. It was attacking her spirit. It began whispering to her, reminding her of every bitter thought, every hateful intention, every dark choice she had ever made. The storm she tried to release on your son was now tearing her apart from the inside out. She thought someone betrayed her. She thought the old woman tricked her. She thought the vial was switched. But no one betrayed her except herself. She broke a law of the universe, a law she never believed was real. What you send out returns to you. What you speak comes back. What you wish for another becomes your own harvest. She tried to curse a child who was protected. She tried to destroy a destiny that was blessed. She forgot that your son is covered, chosen, watched over by something far greater than her anger. She lies there now, pale as moonlight, shaking, struggling for breath, overwhelmed by the consequences of her own choices. Her mind is echoing every evil thought she ever had about your son. And every voice that encouraged her, every person who whispered against your son, has now disappeared. She is alone in the darkness she created. This isn't just her story, my child. It is a message for you, too. Be careful who stands near your son. Be careful who smiles at him. Be careful who pretends to celebrate him. Not every friendly voice is honest. Not every hug is pure. Some people carry storms in their hearts, and they look for someone innocent to unleash them on. But hear this clearly. Your son is protected. Your son is covered. Your son is untouchable by the plans of the wicked. No weapon, physical or spiritual, can prosper against a destiny wrapped in divine light. 3 hours ago, her plan exploded in her own hands. And from this day forward, every hidden enemy who rises against your son will face the same reversal. What they release will return to them sevenfold. Your son's life is surrounded. His future is guarded. And the hand of God is already moving. If you receive this truth for your son, say, Amen. For your daughter, support by giving a super thanks up to $100, as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. My child, let me take you even deeper into what happened after the woman collapsed under the weight of her own plot. Because the story did not end with her gasping for breath or trembling beneath the darkness she awakened. No, something far more mysterious, far more spiritual, and far more revealing began to unfold the moment her attack rebounded. And everything that followed was tied directly to your son's calling, his protection, and the mantle on his life that she never understood. When she fell to the ground, shaking and weak, the atmosphere around her shifted. The air grew thick, as if unseen hands were closing in. The room darkened, not from shadows, but from the spiritual weight pressing down on her. She reached for the walls, screaming silently in her mind, but no sound left her lips. Because at that moment, a spiritual court had opened. A courtroom older than time itself. A courtroom where the unseen judges sit silently, watching the hearts of men and women, weighing intentions and motives with perfect accuracy. She stood there spiritually, trembling, unable to hide, unable to lie, unable to escape. Her spirit was forced to look at every seed she planted, every thought she entertained, every whisper she spoke, every trap she prepared for your son. She saw herself clearly for the first time. Not the version she portrayed to others, but the version heaven had always seen. And as she stood there, the voice that filled that courtroom shook her soul. It was not loud, but it carried authority beyond comprehension. It said, what you attempted to release was not simply destruction. It was a direct attack on a destiny, a calling, a chosen vessel. And you dared to do this with hatred in your heart. Now you must witness the consequences of your actions. She fell to her knees, overwhelmed, unable to speak. She thought she could hide behind excuses. She thought she could blame her family, her struggles, her insecurity, her jealousy. But in that courtroom, excuses dissolve. Only truth stands. And the truth was that she willingly, knowingly partnered with darkness to harm someone divinely marked. Meanwhile, at that very moment, your son felt something shift around him. He didn't know the details. He didn't know what was happening in the unseen realms. But he felt a sudden warmth surround him. A calm presence. A gentle heaviness on his shoulders, as if a cloak had been placed on him from above. He felt peace wash over him. He felt strength rise within him. And for the first time in days, his spirit felt still, quiet, and secure. Angels encircled him without his knowledge. They checked the atmosphere around him. They examined every path he was meant to walk. They cleared every danger. They blocked every entrance the enemy tried to use. And they marked the ground beneath his feet with a seal, declaring, untouchable. Protected. Covered by divine assignment. As this happened, the woman who plotted against him was experiencing the opposite. Her spirit was pulled downward. The courtroom shifted, revealing the consequences she had unleashed. She saw, in terrifying clarity, what would have happened if her plan had succeeded. She saw your son's destiny unraveling. She saw the people meant to receive from him. She saw the lives he was meant to change. She saw the ripple effect his calling was supposed to have. And she saw it all collapsing in the vision. The horror on her face grew deeper. Because now she understood the magnitude of what she attempted to destroy. She didn't just attack a person. She attacked a divine assignment. Then the voice spoke again, saying, "This is the harvest of choosing darkness over repentance. This is the return for plotting against innocence. What you released cannot be undone, but it can be redirected." Suddenly, a wind-like force pulled her backwards. Her spirit was dragged out of the courtroom and thrown back into her body. She gasped. Her eyes shot open. Sweat covered her skin. Her heart pounded violently. But now she felt something else, something heavy, cold, and terrifying. She felt the curse she created clinging to her. She felt the darkness she partnered with tightening around her. And she realized she had become the prisoner of her own intentions. From that moment forward, her life changed drastically. Everything she tried to touch began to crumble. Every plan she made fell apart. Every opportunity slipped through her fingers. People who once stood with her began avoiding her, sensing something off. Her sleep became filled with nightmares. Her days were filled with confusion. And her nights were filled with fear. But here is the strangest part. Every time she tried to think about your son again, she felt a sharp pain in her chest. A warning. A barrier. A divine block. She could not speak his name. She could not envision him harmed. She could not send another thought toward him. Heaven had sealed him off from her reach. Your son, however, began to experience the opposite. Doors that were once shut began to open. Paths that were once unclear became straight. People who once ignored him began recognizing the grace on him. His gifts sharpened. His intuition grew stronger. His peace deepened. And his spirit became still, steady, rooted. 3 days after the attack failed, something miraculous happened. Your son had a dream. In that dream, he saw himself walking through a dark forest. Shadows tried to reach him, but every time they came close, something bright surrounded him. A brilliant light that looked like a shield. He heard a voice say, "You were targeted, but heaven stood between you and the attack. You are marked for purpose. Walk forward. Your steps are protected." When he woke up, he carried that peace with him. He didn't know the full story yet. He didn't know the depth of the plot. He didn't know the woman had nearly destroyed herself. But his spirit understood one thing clearly. He was protected for a reason. He was spared for a purpose. He was covered by a power not of this world. Meanwhile, the woman who plotted against him began experiencing visions she couldn't control. She saw the moment the vial reversed. She saw the courtroom. She heard the voice again. And she realized she was being shown mercy, even in judgment. Because heaven wanted her to understand the gravity of what she had done. She tried to seek help. She tried to call the old woman again. But every time she dialed the number, something blocked the call. The line went dead. A cold wind swept across her neck. And she felt an invisible presence whisper, "You will not return to that path." Her life became a slow unraveling. But your son? His life began rising. But this is where the story grows even more mysterious. Because her attack didn't just fail. It activated something in your son. Something ancient. Something spiritual. Something that had been dormant for years. The moment the attack reversed, a mantle was placed on your son. A mantle of discernment. A mantle of wisdom. A mantle of spiritual authority. People will begin sensing this around him. They will notice something different. Something powerful. Something unexplainable. Your son will begin to see through people's intentions. He will sense danger before it arrives. He will feel shifts in the atmosphere. He will hear warnings in his spirit. And the things that once confused him will become clear. This attack did not weaken him. It awakened him. It did not break him. It built him. It did not stop him. It launched him. Your son is stepping into a season of clarity, strength, favor, and divine elevation. Nothing the enemy sends will work. Nothing darkness attempts will prosper. Every hidden plot will collapse. Every whisper against him will fall silent. Every trap will break before it reaches him. If you believe this covering is over your son, comment below, "He is protected," and let this declaration echo in the spirit realm. My child, listen closely now because the Spirit is still moving, and this moment is not finished. What I am about to tell you will strengthen your heart and settle your spirit, because the enemy thought he could slip into the shadows and try again. But I, the Lord your God, have stepped into the battlefield in a way that cannot be reversed and cannot be challenged. The verdict has already been spoken in the unseen realm, and it stands forever. Your son is not only protected, he is sealed, covered, and surrounded by a heavenly force that no evil intention can break through. There is a weight in the air right now because heaven is rearranging the path before your child. Every trap that was set for him is being exposed. Every hidden desire that woman had, every thought soaked in jealousy, every whisper she made in secret places, and every plan she formed in the dark, is being scattered like dust in a storm. What she intended will never reach him. What she imagined will never manifest. What she hoped to destroy will only grow stronger in the light of my presence. For I have placed a spiritual shield around him that moves with him. It does not sleep. It does not weaken. It does not break. It does not fear. It does not bow to curses, to manipulation, to anger, or to wicked ambition. The shield around your son is a living declaration that says, "Touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm." She dared to reach toward him, but she did not realize she was reaching toward fire. Your son walks with a spiritual mark that cannot be erased. It is the mark of someone chosen for great things. It is the mark of someone who will rise above what others thought possible. It is the mark of someone who carries a destiny too large for darkness to comprehend. And because of this, the enemy has tried to strike early. The enemy has tried to weaken him before he rises. The enemy has tried to silence him before he speaks. But the enemy failed. My child, pay close attention. While she was plotting in silence, I was rewriting the ending. While she was speaking poison with her mouth, I was purifying the atmosphere around your son. While she was hoping to watch him fall, I was preparing a place for him to stand taller than he ever has before. I did not allow one of her words to take root. I did not allow one of her thoughts to attach itself to his life. I blocked every dart, every scheme, every calculation, every trap, and every intention. And now the consequence of her actions has been activated. The backlash she experiences is not because I desire her destruction, but because she crossed a line she was never meant to cross. Every person who insists on fighting what I have blessed will always find themselves crushed by the weight of their own schemes. She opened a door that now confronts her. She planted seeds that now surround her. She stirred waters that now rise against her. But you, my child, do not fear. Instead, lift your head. Lift your shoulders. Lift your heart. Because this is the moment where your son steps into a new season of divine visibility. What was done against him has become a platform for what I am about to do for him. He will grow in wisdom. He will grow in confidence. He will grow in spiritual clarity. The attacks he survived will become the very proof that my hand has been upon him from the beginning. You must understand something deep right now. Your son's destiny is not fragile. It is not unstable. It is not easy to break. His destiny is forged in pressure, in fire, in divine testing, in hidden shaping, and in spiritual protection. Every unfair attack becomes fuel. Every hidden enemy becomes revelation. Every obstacle becomes training. Every disappointment becomes sharpening. I am not just protecting him. I am preparing him. What the enemy used to intimidate him will become the very thing he steps over. What the enemy used to delay him will become the very thing that pushes him forward. I am changing the weight of the battle. I am moving the atmosphere. I am forcing the darkness to retreat even before your son speaks a word. And I am raising him in this hour with a spiritual authority that will silence every accusation and expose every hidden lie. You may not see everything happening at once, but you will see evidence. You will see signs. You will see shifts. You will see unexpected favor rise around him. You will see people who once ignored him begin to notice him. You will see doors open that were once shut. You will see opportunities come out of nowhere. And you will see peace settle over him like a blanket soaked in my presence. Child, hear me. That woman will never hold power over his future. She will never hold influence over his steps. She will never again come near the path he walks. I have moved her away. I have removed her access. I have closed every spiritual window she tried to use. What she wished on him will never stand. What she released into the air will return only to her own life. This is a spiritual law, and it cannot be undone. Now breathe. Breathe slowly. Because the battle that tried to start has already ended. The attack that tried to rise has already fallen. The threat that tried to come near has already been burned to ashes by my presence. Walk in peace. Walk in calm. Walk in confidence. Your son belongs to me, and no one can interfere with the destiny of someone who walks under my command. And now, my child, I close this message with a prophetic seal. Let these words enter your home, your heart, and your spirit. The storm is over. The danger is gone. The enemy's mouth is shut. Your son's future is protected. His destiny is rising. The divine covering is permanent. Nothing broken will remain broken. Nothing stolen will remain stolen. Nothing delayed will remain delayed. The battle is over, and victory has already spoken. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it.